Inflation: how to protect the value of your money. 1. What exactly is inflation? Have you ever heard someone say, "When I was young, I could buy several snacks with just $1 dollar, but now that's impossible"? This is the most relatable example of inflation. Inflation refers to a phenomenon where prices continuously rise over a certain period, leading to a sustained decrease in the purchasing power of currency. Simply put, if you could buy 10 apples with $10 dollars yesterday, today you might only be able to buy 8. The purchasing power of money is gradually weakening. So, why does inflation happen? Increased demand: when people want to buy too many goods, but goods are limited, prices will naturally rise. Decreased supply: if production costs increase or raw materials become scarce, making it difficult to produce goods, their prices can go up. Increased money supply: if too much money is circulating in the economy, the value of money tends to decrease, and prices of goods tend to rise. 2. How inflation affects your money. Inflation directly impacts your paycheck and assets. Decreased purchasing power: this is the most direct effect. If your salary remains the same but prices rise, the amount of goods or services you can buy with that same salary decreases. Your real income effectively declines. Decreased value of savings: even if you save money in a bank, if the inflation rate is higher than the deposit interest rate, it's essentially like your money is losing value. For example, if the interest rate is 2% but inflation rises by 3%, you're effectively losing 1%. Reduced real value of debt: ironically, if you have fixed rate debt, inflation can have the effect of reducing the real value of that debt, since the value of money in the future will be lower than it is now. The burden of the debt you have to repay can relatively decrease. However, if it's a variable rate loan, you need to be careful as interest burdens can increase due to rate hikes. 3. Smart ways to protect the value of your money. So, how can you protect your precious money from this formidable inflation? Here are a few strategies. 3.1. Investing in real assets. Inflation depreciates the value of currency, but the value of real assets can actually increase. Real estate: when prices rise, real estate values also tend to increase significantly. Residential real estate, in particular, is often used as an inflation hedge. Gold, silver, and other precious metals: these are typical safe haven assets, whose value tends to rise when currency value is unstable. Commodities: investing directly in commodities, crude oil, grains, etc., that cause price increases can also be a method. 3.2. Investing in growth assets like stocks. Stocks, which are investments in companies, can also serve as an inflation hedge. Companies with pricing power: it's good to invest in companies with a monopolistic position or strong brand that can easily raise product prices even when inflation occurs. This is because such companies can pass on increased costs due to inflation to consumers. Dividend stocks: shares of companies that consistently pay dividends can provide cash flow that partially offsets the decrease in currency value due to inflation. Productivity improving companies. Productivity improvements can help mitigate inflation. Companies that reduce costs and increase profits through technological innovation or efficient production methods can have an advantage even in inflationary environments. 3.3. Utilizing inflation-linked financial products. Inflation-indexed bonds. Tips: these are bonds where both the principal and interest fluctuate in line with the inflation rate. The more severe the inflation, the more interest you can receive, making them a good tool to prepare for currency depreciation. Variable rate deposit savings during periods of rising interest rates. Variable rate products can be more advantageous than fixed rate products. 3.4. Debt management strategy. Utilizing fixed rate loans: if inflation persists, the future value of money decreases, so current fixed rate loans can result in a reduced real burden. However, if it's a variable rate loan, you need to be careful as interest burdens can increase due to rate hikes. 3.5. Income generation and expense management. Increasing income through self-improvement. Ultimately, the most reliable way is to increase your income. Learning new skills or strengthening your expertise to increase your market value is important. Efficient expense management: it's crucial to reduce unnecessary expenses and only spend money where it's truly needed. Setting a budget and consistently tracking and managing expenses can be helpful. Summary: inflation is a formidable force that slowly erodes the purchasing power of our money. But there's no need to worry too much. You can sufficiently protect the value of your money by utilizing real assets, high growth stocks, inflation-linked financial products, and by smart debt management and continuous efforts to increase income. The most important thing is the mindset of actively managing your assets, instead of just standing still.